Welcome to The More You Nona. My name is Kendrick and I am your Lake Nona expert. And today we're getting behind the scenes with the 2023 Lake Nona High School football team with our brand new coach, David Aubrey, who was just announced as the head football coach of our 2023 Lake Nona Lions. Let's go take a look. Coach David Aubrey, welcome back to Lake Nona High School. And walk us through when you got that phone call that said you're going to be the next head football coach at Lake Nona High School.
Well, I first want to say, oh yeah. So I got the phone call Friday before we went on spring break, which made the timing kind of odd. I had an interview the week before, and then I came in and did my final interview with Miss Campbell. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to work with her on that following Monday, and then that Friday I got a call, and then we went on spring break. So it really wasn't official, so I still had a hard time sleeping at night because they had to do reference checks, they had to clear stuff through the district, and the district office was closed the entire week. So it was a rough week emotionally for me.
So what many of you may not know is you've actually worked with a lot of the youth back when these kids were younger. And now you walk through the door and these kids that you coached in the youth sports are now young men and going to play for you. Right. What's that like knowing you already have a relationship with the players, you have a relationship with the families, and of course you have a relationship with the community?
Right. You never really know how much a person really knows you until an opportunity comes such as this. I just didn't know how connected I was with the community, because just in the day-to-day things, working at Dr. Phillips, working on that side of town, but still staying engaged here with Lake Nona Youth Sports. When chatter started happening, I got so many phone calls and so many text messages, and I was actually, when this whole process started, I was actually at a wrestling tournament. I was the head wrestling coach at Dr. Phillips High School, and I was at a wrestling tournament. And I was just getting unnormal amount of calls and text messages, and I'm in a match and I'm really not looking at my phone. I'm just keep looking at my phone. Like, this must be an emergency, my wife or something's going on. But it wasn't just like random numbers. And so then after the tournament, I go back and I looked at my text messages, and I'm like, wow, like coach, the time is now. We're ready to go. We need you. And so I think just really having an understanding of the work that I've put in the area, the relationships that I've developed with the kids, with the parents, with the community, it kind of just has come to fruition. And it's a really cool thing. It's exciting, and it's very humbling to know that you have that type of following.
So I was very blessed to sit in on one of your team meetings, your first team meetings, and I heard you and your other coaches talk about expectations for your players outside of the locker room, outside of being on the field, but how they act in the community, in the classroom, and you actually talked about being young men. And we're going to put the word manhood on the wall.
It's gonna be on one of these walls.
In this room. Why is it important for you, for your football players and your athletes, to be young men and community members outside of football?
The biggest thing, so football has taught me a lot in life. The football is a game of life, the old cliche, right? So if you can do the right things off the field, in the community, in the classroom, at home with your parents or guardian, I can trust you on Friday nights. If you have a hard time doing the basic, just fundamental things of life, showing respect, honoring people, showing gratitude, then you're going to let me down in the game. I've seen it happen far too many times. I've been coaching for 18 years now. I've played since I was a kid, not really knowing what I was going through as a player, but as I developed as a coach and started developing young men, those were just one of the things. If you can't do the right things off the field, then you're going to let me down some way on the field. So I really try to make that connection with the kids, and that's kind of a carrot in front of the horse, I guess you can call it. And they really bought into it. My 18 years of coaching.
So you're in this locker room. It's December. It's right before winter break 2023. So what, 8 months from today, 9 months from today? You look back on spring football, the summer workouts, and the fall season. What will make 2023 a successful season in your first year as head coach?
I think the first thing we have to do is just kind of continue to build our culture. Obviously we want to win a district championship. That's going to be a huge success for us. There's some very, very tough competition that we'll have to go through in order to do that. And that's one of the things that I've tried to impose on the kids the last 2 weeks of being here. Is there's 3 or 4 games that they should have won last year. It just didn't happen because they just didn't finish. Right. Regardless of who was coaching, regardless of who was at the game, regardless of who was on the field, there were some times that they just didn't finish. So I think the big story for us is we want to have an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. And if we can put ourselves in position to have a chance to win a game in the fourth quarter and to win a few of those, that's going to be a huge success for us. Again, our biggest goal is to win a district championship. We hadn't won one here, I think, since 2016 or 2017. So that's going to be a major goal. That's going to be something that we're really going to fight for. But it's got to happen now. We can't wait until August to kind of say, okay, we want to win a district championship. So let's go to work. If I can get them to the point to where they understand that we got to work now, then winning that district championship is just going to be icing on the cake.
And when we sat down and we talked about your previous coaching experience, you pointed over there that you were on staff when we won district championships. And so I know that that's important to you. Coach, last question. You also talked about bringing people into the locker room to speak with the players, former NFL players, former college players, people from the community to pour into your young athletes and young men. Why is that important to you?
It's important because the word manhood, those guys, including myself, have put in the work and the time to develop professionally. We're all men of faith. We're family men. We care about our families. We care about our kids. We're invested into community. We have, we have great integrity, and we've gone down the road that a small percentage of young athletes want to go down. We'll have professional athletes that played on the staff. I'm a former professional athlete. We got Charles Emmanuel, he played in the NFL. We got Rutherford, he played in the NFL. We got Pat Lee, he's a Super Bowl champ.
Yep.
So we're going to have some dudes on the staff as well as some dudes sitting in the seat on the other side. So I think that's important, because we lose sight that the kids look up to certain things nowadays. And I think that's one of the things that they'll definitely appreciate and they'll definitely honor and learn to appreciate and get to the certain level that they're trying to get to individually. So, to have people come in and share their experiences, I've seen it as a coach the last few years. Rodney Wells over at Dr. Phillips High School was my former head coach. He's taught me a lot in that aspect. We did a really good job over there of putting people, putting men, putting women, professionals, people that are making things happen in the community, putting them in front of the kids. And it's really taught them to aspire and to be something similar to what they are. So I think that's important to display people that have gone through the challenges of life and have gotten through those challenges and are now successful, flourishing people.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for Coach Aubrey's introduction to Lake Nona. I'm going to go discuss X's and O's with him, but you guys, you got to go. Bye, guys. Go Lions.